All right, good morning everybody. Welcome to another round of coffee and questions. And what's today's topic? We're going to talk about Hurculiner. It's a bed liner spray. You can get it off Amazon, and I'll leave you the links below in the description. You can also get it over at the auto parts store, I believe, because I did run one can short on a project, and it was either O'Reilly's or AutoZone, that had it. It's a little bit cheaper off Amazon. But anyway, the topic is going to be Hurculiner and what do I think of it. Now, you've seen in my past videos where I've done these trailer refurbishments and rebuilds, and lately, and I'm going to show you a picture right now, I got this golf cart from out at a ranch where, they have horses and they have lots of animals and stuff, and it wasn't working anymore. So it was given to me. So I had to haul it home, and I've been working on it slowly, trying to get it in good running condition again. It had a lot of damage to it, and I'll explain that to you as we go in the products that I used. But let me show you a picture of it real quick. Okay, that was a picture of the golf cart itself. Now, the flooring on it was rusted out super bad, and so the thing is okay, what did I do about it? Well, the first thing, and a lot of criticism that you read about with Hurculiner is, oh, it chips up, it didn't stick, and these kinds of comments, because you didn't prepare the surface the way that you should have. I would tell you the key to this whole project, or any project that you use Hurculiner, or even the Rust-Oleum undercoating, is all in the surface prep work, and people get lazy and they don't want to do it, and they feel, well, the product should just stick to anything, and it does, but there's no durability there if you didn't prep the surface correctly. So what did I do? I used a wire brush, I used a wire wheel on the end of a variable speed drill, because I'm not doing a huge surface. If I was, I'd use a 4.5-inch angle grinder with a wire wheel. But small surface was the floorboard of the golf cart, and it was rusted up and actually decayed through the metal in certain spots. Now, it's not some kind of, a frame-up restoration or, Concord rebuild or anything like that. It's a golf cart. I got to get it functional and looking good again. So I cleaned up all that steel using those wire wheels, and then I got it cleaned off, soap water, let it dry. I took a look at it and I thought, okay, I got to do a little more. I did some more, and then I wiped the whole thing down with acetone. Now, in the comments, people will use mineral spirits, paint thinner, lacquer thinner, and things like that. Those products are okay to use. I just happen to have acetone around, and it's kind of what I've used in the past. So I wiped the whole surface down with the acetone, and then what I did this time, now in the trailer rebuilds, I bought the gallon size, and I'll make comments about that in a few minutes when we get to the questions and answers. This was a small area, I didn't need a whole lot, so I just bought the spray cans of Hurculiner. I really prefer putting it on by hand, and that way I can assure I've got a good solid coating. Now, I normally will put on 2 coats, maybe 3, depending on if I'm using it with a paintbrush and a roller, or am I spraying it on. Now with the spray cans, I put 3 coats on the floorboard of this golf cart. Let me show you a picture. Okay, so that was the floorboard of it, and then there's a mat. It's a thin rubber mat that I'll throw back in there that goes over, but what happened in the past is moisture trapped under there and it started to rot out that sheet metal. So that's where I'm at with it so far in terms of using the Hurculiner. Now, there were lots of questions and answers between the forum and the club that I belong to. On the trailer rebuilds, have I done it? How many coats did I put on it? I put on 2 thick coats. Now, the can's going to tell you let it dry between 4 and 6 hours before the second coat. I live out in desert cities. It's pretty warm, pretty hot outside, and I suppose, that could be true, but I'm not in that big of a rush. I have other things that I was doing on the trailers and so forth at the time. I let it sit overnight, so say, anywhere from 12 to 24 hours. Then I put that second coat on, let it sit, let it dry, let it begin to cure, and then you can go ahead and you can add another coat, which is what I did. So a lot of them I'll put 3 coats on, but definitely 2. Some people criticize it goes on thin. Well, it doesn't go on super thick unless you put it on that way with a brush to begin with. I just put on normal coats, let's say, and I put on like a total of 3 of them most of the time. Now I've also, somebody said, well, what about the frame and all this other stuff? I've also done the frames on these, okay, because you get a lot of stuff up on the road debris, all this stuff, and moisture that'll hit it and it starts to rust and all that. So wherever I can on the underneath side, I've also coated the frames, and this stuff has held up incredibly well, and I continue to use the product. Okay, now the next question out at the club is somebody had asked me there, if you do this and you put something heavy into it and it scrapes and rips up like the bottom of a trailer or a truck bed, is it possible to recoat it after it's already been cured for, a number of weeks or months? The answer is yes. Again, I would tell you to do a little bit of prep work, wash it out good, go over it because it's already cured. Just go over it with maybe a little bit of lacquer thinner or something like that, and then go ahead and apply another coat of the Hurculiner. So it's kind of easy to repair is what I'm saying, and if you're actually using it as a work truck or a work trailer, it is, it's not a beauty contest and it works real well. Okay, again, the thing is, we'll go over a painted surface. Okay, so I'm going to come back to my original comment. You have to prep the surface for this product to work really well. You can't just put it over like some gloss paint that you had painted and expect it to stick real good. So you're going to have to sand and rough up the surface and give it something to grab onto. It's not meant just to throw over, any type of surface, and then, you get these criticisms, well, it didn't hold up, it started to chip off and whatever else. If you prepare the surface correctly, it's going to stick rock hard. Okay, will it stick to an aluminum surface? Yes, it will. Just prep the metal, it'll stick. Will it stick to a wood surface, like if I didn't have metal like on the bottom of one of those trailers, and let's say it was just like treated lumber or just some kind of lumber? It will, as long as the surface is clean and you've got it roughed up some. Again, surface prep. What do I mean by that? Well, if you don't have a bunch of like oil and gook all over the wood and you just throw it on there, try to scrape as much of it off as you can, get the wood as clean as you can, and rough it up with like 40 grit or 60 grit sandpaper so that that coating of Hurculiner has got something to grab and hold on to, and it will work on wood definitely. Well, on the can, it's going to tell you it can bond to wood, metal, concrete, aluminum, asphalt, rubber, fiberglass, plastic, and even PVC. Now, I haven't tried it on all of those things, but when it comes to concrete, I would tell you look for some kind of a marine paint. This stuff's going to be like kind of gritty and real rough, when it sets up. So again, it depends on the concrete surface that you're talking about, but it will stick to it and harden up on it for sure. I don't know if it's the kind of surface you really wanted, so it's a hard question to answer. Again, I would use some kind of marine grade paint if you want a smooth, nice looking surface. What kind of a finish does it produce? It produces a flat finish, but somebody in the comment, I have not done this myself, waited for it to start curing. Let's say you're 2 or 3 hours or more into the drying time as opposed to curing. I think 24 hours and better it'll be cured and curing, and 4 to 6 hours it's dry enough for you to apply, like let's say that next coat. People have taken like a gloss black and sprayed it over the top as it was setting up, and it seemed to work really well for them. Again, I have not tried that, but from what I read, if you want that glossy surface, you can definitely use a gloss black over it. I would use Rust-Oleum. Again, I've got links below. I stick with Rust-Oleum and good quality products when I do these because I don't want any problems. But like I said, you could try it. Okay, what kind of Rust-Oleum am I talking about? I'm talking about the polyurethane. You can get it in spray cans. You can get it in semi-gloss, gloss, flat. It's the typical things that you'll see at Home Depot. And like I said, I've got links below. Sometimes you get a lot better price, and if you're not in a rush, it's probably worth saving yourself a little bit of money. But, try it. Okay, when I bought it, did I buy it in a kit? Yeah, you can buy the kit, and this is what I'll tell you. There's some negatives on the kit. You buy the 1 gallon, which I did when I was doing the trailer, beds and the liners, on the trailer and the frame and so forth. I bought it in a gallon size because I knew I was going to use quite a bit of it. The roller is in the one, it's kind of crappy. To be honest with you, if you go down to auto parts store you can get a really good roller made by Duplicolor, and they seem to hold up and last a long time. At least it lasted for the whole project for me. Whereas the foam ones, they'll get plugged up with the gritty material in the Hurculiner, and pretty soon it's just, the roller's just crap, truthfully. The brush is nothing to talk about. I mean, I would tell you, like I said, you're doing these restorations, you can go to the dollar store, pick up, an okay brush. I mean, you're just putting it on, you're not trying to make it look pretty or anything, and you can get away with it, and it is a little bit better brush than what they supply you with. So definitely, and then that way you just throw them out when you're done. I don't bother trying to clean them up, especially, with the Hurculiner kind of material. So what did I use? I mean, I've used the gallon can, and here's a picture of it off Amazon. Okay, there's lots of other things. Will it stick to this? Can I put it on, fender wells under my car? And can I do, yes, you can do all these things. Again, it all comes down to the surface prep work. Now, an easy way to put it on is with like this, right out of the spray can. I mean, if you're going to do it that way, mask everything off real well, prep your surface, spray it. What I like about this, like on a lot of the fender wells on those trailers, is they get so much crap thrown up on them, especially like water, like you're out at the ranch and the barns, and you're going through all these muddy pastures and all this stuff, and it throws up all this stuff underneath the wheel wells. Is when I did these, I went ahead and I scuffed them up real good, wire brushed the daylights out of them, and I sprayed it with Hurculiner. Now, did I do it like all the way down to the metal? No. Now, bare metal, of course, is ideal. I scuffed it up enough to where it coated. That way, that water and all that gook is not going to start to rust through the fender wells like it began to. I had surface rust on the underneath side of these fenders and the wells in there, and I just wanted to protect them. So again, I like Hurculiner. There are people out there, they use the Rust-Oleum product. I guess it's a good one also. I'm just talking to you today about Hurculiner and the restoration of that golf cart, and so far everything looks good. Okay folks, that's it for the coffee and questions on Rust-Oleum. I hope you click subscribe, drop a comment below if you know of something better, or if you know of a different material that can be used. We're always interested in learning from each other. All right, and until next time, I'll talk to you folks again soon. Bye-bye.